On a Saturday night in June 2025, the world watched as a major conflict escalated. The United States launched a series of powerful airstrikes against Iran. The targets were not just any military bases, they were Iran's most secret and protected nuclear facilities. These sites, located at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan, are central to Iran's nuclear program. The attack was a surprise to many, marking a direct and open entry by the US into the ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel. This was not a small operation but a significant military action that carried immense risks and potential consequences for the entire region and beyond. The strikes were precise and powerful, involving some of the most advanced weapons in the American arsenal. According to reports, the US military used special bombs designed to hit targets buried deep underground. These are known as bunker busters. The operation also included missiles launched from submarines, hitting multiple locations at once. This coordinated attack showed a high level of planning and military capability. The goal was clearly to inflict maximum damage on Iran's ability to develop nuclear materials, a program that has been a source of international tension for many years. The news of the attack spread quickly across the globe, causing immediate reactions from world leaders. Many expressed deep concern about the sudden escalation of violence. The event raises many questions about what might happen next. Will Iran retaliate? How will other countries in the Middle East respond? The US government has stated its reasons for the attack, but the situation remains incredibly tense. International observers are now trying to understand the full extent of the damage and what this means for the future of peace and stability in an already volatile part of the world. For people learning about this complex issue, it is important to understand the key players and what is at stake. Iran has been developing its nuclear program for decades, claiming it is for peaceful energy purposes. However, the United States and its allies, particularly Israel, fear that Iran is secretly trying to build a nuclear bomb. This fear has driven much of the conflict and diplomacy surrounding Iran for a long time. The recent airstrikes represent a dramatic shift from negotiations to direct military force, changing the landscape of this long-running dispute in a single night. So, what exactly is a bunker buster bomb? The name itself gives a clue. It is a type of bomb specifically designed to destroy bunkers or other structures that are buried deep underground. The main weapon used in the attack on Iran was the GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator, or MOP. This is not an ordinary bomb, it is the largest non-nuclear bomb of its kind in the US military. It weighs about 13,500 kilograms, which is as heavy as 2 large elephants. Its immense weight and special design allow it to smash through many layers of earth and concrete before exploding. The power of the GBU-57 MOP is truly incredible. It is engineered to penetrate up to 60 meters of reinforced concrete. That is like digging through a 20-story building, but underground. Iran built its nuclear facilities, like the one at Fordow, deep inside mountains to protect them from air attacks. The Fordow site is believed to be buried about 80 meters deep, making it an extremely difficult target to hit. Only a weapon with the immense power of a bunker buster could hope to reach and destroy such a heavily fortified location. This is why these specific bombs were chosen for this mission. To carry and drop these massive bombs, a special aircraft is needed. The United States is the only country that has the capability to deploy the GBU-57 MOP. The bombs are carried by B-2 stealth bombers, which are famous for their unique flying wing shape and their ability to avoid being detected by enemy radar. In this operation, it is reported that about 7 B-2 bombers were used, each one capable of carrying 2 of these giant bombs. This shows the scale and seriousness of the mission, requiring a significant part of the US B-2 fleet to be involved. The use of these weapons sends a very clear message. It demonstrates that the United States has the military power to reach and destroy even the most protected secrets of another country. By using the MOP, the US was not just trying to damage the nuclear sites, it was also showing that no target is completely safe from its reach. The choice of weapon was as much about its physical impact as it was about its psychological effect on Iran's leaders, proving that their deepest and most important facilities were, in fact, vulnerable to attack from the air. The United States government, led by the Trump administration, quickly provided its reasons for the attack. The official explanation was that Iran was getting dangerously close to building a nuclear weapon. The administration claimed that Iran was just weeks away from being able to produce enough material for a bomb. This created a sense of urgency, suggesting that action had to be taken immediately to prevent what they saw as a major threat to global security. This claim, however, was noted by some as being different from what U.S. intelligence agencies had previously reported. The administration also highlighted a unique American capability. They stated that only the United States possessed the conventional non-nuclear weapons powerful enough to destroy Iran's deeply buried facilities. Israel, which sees Iran's nuclear program as a direct threat to its existence, has long considered military action. However, the U.S. government's position was that Israel did not have the right kind of bombs to do the job effectively without resorting to nuclear weapons. Therefore, the U.S. felt it was its responsibility to act, stepping in to do what its ally could not. The stated goal of the operation was very specific. The U.S. government has insisted that this was a limited one-time strike. They have reportedly sent messages to Iran explaining that the attack was not the start of a broader war or an attempt to overthrow the Iranian government. The objective, they claim, was solely to set back Iran's nuclear program and remove the immediate threat of a nuclear-armed Iran. The U.S. hopes this decisive action will force Iran to reconsider its nuclear ambitions and prevent a larger conflict from breaking out in the future. Despite these claims, the full picture of the damage is still unclear. The U.S. military has stated that the targeted nuclear sites at Fordow and Natanz were utterly destroyed. However, without independent inspectors on the ground, it is impossible to verify this information. There is also the possibility that Iran may have other secret nuclear sites that were not targeted in the strikes. This uncertainty means that even if the known facilities are gone, the threat might not be completely eliminated, leaving many questions about the long-term success of the mission. The immediate question on everyone's mind is, what will Iran do next? The attack is a major blow to the country's national pride and its strategic programs. A response is almost certain, but its form is unknown. Iran has several options for retaliation. It could launch missile attacks against Israel or against U.S. military bases located throughout the Middle East. Another powerful tool Iran has is its ability to disrupt the global economy. It could attempt to close the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway through which a large portion of the world's oil supply travels, causing oil prices to skyrocket. The consequences of this attack could also have the opposite effect of what the U.S. intended. Instead of convincing Iran to abandon its nuclear ambitions, the strikes might reinforce the belief among Iran's leaders that having a nuclear weapon is the only way to guarantee their country's safety. They may now see nuclear weapons as the ultimate deterrent, the only thing that can prevent future attacks from a powerful country like the United States. This could make them even more determined to rebuild their program in secret and acquire a bomb at any cost, leading to a more dangerous and hidden nuclear race. For the United States and the rest of the world, the situation is now more complicated. The attack has drawn the U.S. directly into a conflict it had tried to manage from a distance. It also puts pressure on other world powers, like Russia and China, who have different relationships with Iran. They may condemn the U.S. action and offer support to Iran, further dividing the international community. This could make it much harder to find a diplomatic solution and could lead to a new era of confrontation between major global powers, centered on the Middle East. In summary, the U.S. airstrikes on Iran have created a moment of profound uncertainty. A powerful military action was taken to solve one problem, Iran's immediate nuclear threat, but it may have created many new and more dangerous ones. The world now holds its breath, waiting to see how Iran will respond and how the ripples from this event will spread. The path forward is unclear, and the chances for either a wider war or a fragile, tense peace are both very real. The decisions made in the coming days and weeks will shape the future of the region and the world.